Hello everyone, welcome back. Finally, I have caught up with the much awaited OTT release of Kalki 2898 on Netflix. True to what all the reviewers has said, for an Indian film, this film has really pushed the envelope when it comes to visuals and the use of CGI technology. Made on a budget of 600 crore rupees, it has already earned almost double of the budget. It is an audacious attempt by Nag Ashwin and he has let neither the audience nor the producers down. Inspired by Hindu mythology, particularly the Mahabharata, this first installment is all about a mission to protect an unborn child of a human lab rat named Some 80, renamed as Sumati, played by Deepika Padukone. Why should a child be protected and from whom? Sumati is believed to be carrying a child who is supposed to be the Vishnu's 10th avatar, the Kalki avatar, and who is on a mission to protect Sumati and the unborn child, a cursed Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama looks like a mixed sibling of Dumbledore and Gandalf, played by Amitabh Bachchan, is roaming the world undead since Lord Krishna cursed Ashwatthama for attempting to murder Uttara, the wife of Abhimanyu. If you are not much into Hindu mythology, you might need to do a little bit of reading to understand who is who. Now, our Gandalf's only redemption from the curse is by protecting Kalki. Gandalf wakes up from his millennium-long slumber and goes all guns blazing to protect Sumati on learning that Kalki on his way in Sumati's womb. Gandalf holds a staff which is merely a walking stick in his hand. In reality, it is a staff of Karna. Only the true reincarnation of Karna can wield that staff, something like Monkey King. Who is Gandalf protecting Sumati from? An evil, totalitarian, supreme leader called Yaskin. Yaskin, who currently looks like Voldemort in Smeagol's body, is on life support and anti-gravity support gadgets that looks like a mix of Dune and Rebel Moon props. Voldemort seeks a secret serum that will cure him of his disease that can be extracted only from the womb of Kalki's mother. Since nobody knows who is Kalki and when he or she will be born, Voldemort runs a huge lab where women perish due to his serum extraction experiments. How did Yaskin suffer the save of Lord Voldemort? I'm sure there will be some backstory saved for the sequels. Voldemort's minions engage bounty hunters to hunt down and bring Sumati. One of the bounty hunters is Bhairava, played by Bahubali, aka Rebel star Prabhas. How can Prabhas play such an insignificant role? Don't be quick to fall for the misdirection. Turns out that Bhairava is actually a reincarnation of Karna, which is revealed towards the end of the film. So, the larger than life Bahubali scale heroics are reserved for the later editions of Kalki. Remember Gandalf's walking stick? That falls in the hands of Bahubali, Karna's reincarnation, who can wield its true power. Karna and Ashwatthama fought for the same side as per Mahabharata. The plot thickens and the foundation has been laid for an explosive sequel. Caught in the middle at the one end are the minions of Voldemort, who runs these enormous operations along with the bounty hunters like Bahubali. At the other middle end are the saviors from mythical Shambhala, who is awaiting the arrival of the mother. Naturally, Kalki's mother. Gandalf teams up with Shambhala and Bahubali teams up with Voldemort. And they fight each other for their respective bounties. Bahubali fights for his bounty and Gandalf fights for his bounty as well. This face-off is picturized spectacularly in this 181-minute drama, which makes it a visual marvel. And that is the reason for watching Kalki. It is an absolute entertainer. I liked it more than Bahubali and RRR. I like Ashwin Nag's honesty in conceding that it may not be a surprise if the visual reminds us of earlier Hollywood ventures. Kalki is not a masterclass in screenplay writing. You may have already noticed that none of what I told about Kalki's plot is a novelty given we are in 2024, but that does not make this film any less watchable. Ashwin has roped in the Serbian cinematographer George Stoljikovic, who has done a phenomenal job. His short filmography does not boast of films of this genre, but George has pulled it off in grand style. The star cast is infinite. Deepika Padukone, Amitabh and Prabhas are the centerpieces. The rest of the cast do what is expected of them. Amitabh stands tall, literally. The part that I really do not understand is Ashwin's obsession with cameos. Not one, not two, but a long list. Vijay Deverakonda, S.S. Rajamouli, Ram Gopal Verma, Dulquer Salman, Honestly, these cameos do precious nothing other than just adding to the cost of the film unless they appeared on screen for free. Even without these cameos, this film would have done the same business. And then there are familiar faces like Brahmanandam, Pasupati, and Disha Patni in smaller roles. Disha Patni and every other cameo that I mentioned earlier are totally unnecessary. Kamal Haasan and Shobana are noteworthy mentions among others, though with limited screen time. There were many critical opinions about Santosh Narayan's music, but I found it quite fitting. Given that people are used to the templatized, rousing music these days, Santosh Narayan's understated score might have failed to get the adrenaline pumping, but it is still a worthwhile background score. This film's speciality is neither the storyline nor the visuals, it is the aspiration. Many people would define the timeline of Indian movies in many ways: before Ram Gopal Varma and after, before Bahubali and after, before RRR and after. There may be many interpretations of the timeline, but when it comes to visual spectacle and executing CGI on a larger scale, this film is truly a milestone. It is not like such an attempt was never made before, but whenever such an attempt was made, there was this animal called tackiness that raised its ugly head time and again. What differentiates Kalki from the erstwhile attempts in this genre is the quality of animation, visual effects, and CGI. There may still be flaws, but they are either insignificant or unnoticeable. Let's not even compare with the budgets of Hollywood movies. Even at 600 crore rupees budget, roughly around 72 million US dollars, Kalki is still filmed at a fraction of cost of Hollywood movies. Just to give you some perspective, the Dune 1984 version was filmed at a budget of 45 million US dollars. The recent Rebel Moon had a budget of 166 million US dollars. So let's not be stingy in crediting Ashwin and his team for punching way above their weights. Kalki is a trendsetter. Once the first blood is drawn, there will be many who will follow suit and floodgates of funding will open for such big budget projects. It was never the case of lack of talent or capability among Indian filmmakers. It was a question of the business model and commercial viability. With the recent successes of big budget movies, predominantly driven by Telugu movies, the landscape of Indian movies has changed forever. While other regional films may still have their place in their niche, it will be Telugu and Hindi movies that will compete on scale and collections. Kalki is a must watch on the big screen. If you have missed it on the big screen, it is on Netflix. I watched it on Netflix on a big screen TV and the experience was mind blowing. Thanks for staying with me. I'll come back with my next review. Till then, bye bye.